Okay, welcome back, guys. So what we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna finish up prospecting and we're gonna get into lead follow-up. The two most important things: finding the client, locating them, getting a hold of them, and then following up with them so we can make sure we get an appointment, right? Two most important things in real estate. Um, for me, as like what I got going on now, today we got the appraisal back for the condo in Marco Island. It came in about 18, 20 grand higher than we bought it for. So that turned out really good. We were able to negotiate a good deal there. Um, and that's for Mike. And then the listing I have in Green Coves, I got an offer today on it, and I have another couple showings, which I'm trying to put the offers against each other to boost that up. And we're trying to be around 395. They came in at 380. We hit them back at 395. We're waiting. We should be able to get the deal done at 395. $115,000 down, easy deal. Should have closed end of April. Other ones closing April 22nd. So that's two decent deals. That will close in April. So that's kind of like what I got on the fire right now, working on those two, in addition to the other things. But the most important thing, guys, is lead follow up and prospecting. So this past Saturday, Crystal and Leah came into the office, and we make some calls, about 2 hours, about hour 45 minutes, and there were a lot of voicemails that I left. A lot of people didn't answer, a lot of voicemails and text messages. So what I'm going to show you guys is I cut the video down, and I'm going to show you one of the voicemails that I left and what I do, what I send. And then you're going to hear a phone call of someone who answered, and I actually turned it into something from nothing, and it turned into actually somebody and his wife to possibly go to the next class in April to get a license. And they're going to buy something, and the parents are going to sell the parents' house, which the grandparent is living in, to just spend the rest of her life in there. And you're going to hear the conversation. So this went from not knowing this guy at all. I mean, this is just a phone call, right? And you're going to hear me and how I talk to people. So I recorded the whole thing, but there's really one call. I mean, all the voicemails are just voicemails, but I'm going to play the last voicemail and then the call. It's about 10 minutes. It's really not that long of a video. So I want to put that on. It's recorded here for us. It's going to be in the file. And then I think this week on Sunday, right, Omar, you're coming in on Sunday this week to make some calls?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to do the same thing Sunday. I'm going to turn the video on. I'm going to make some calls with you guys. We'll make calls together and we'll record it and we'll see what turns out from it, okay? And we'll do the same thing. We'll put it in the file, okay? So before we get back into this, I want to actually play that for you guys. So it's it's a maybe 10-minute call. It's not the whole thing here. I just want to play. So the first one will be a voicemail, and then the second one going right into it will be the person that I talked to, okay? So I'm gonna turn the volume up here. Just give me a thumbs up if the volume's okay for you guys once I play the call, okay?
I didn't get anything back yet. I sent those texts.
Okay.
There. So that's what I did. Hey, it's Philip. Just left you a voicemail. Here's the videos. Right. So who knows? They may watch it. They may not. They may tell me to go fuck myself. Who knows what they're gonna do? You know what I mean? But you just gotta. You gotta start. You gotta start something, right? So you can also tell if they live there. See, there's the house, and that's the tax address. So they live there. If that's a different address, it means they don't live there. It means an investment property too, right? So let's go here. Let's call Ronnie. 21 321 890 2511.
The phone's on speaker, and sometimes it cuts in and out because of the recording. I don't know why, but you can kind of put two and two together.
Forwarded to voicemail. Person you're trying to reach is not available. The tone. Please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Hello, my name's Philip Simonetta. I was trying to reach Ronnie Reinhardt. I was calling to introduce myself. I own a real estate school and brokerage here in Jacksonville, and we're licensed in Florida, Jacksonville, and Tennessee. We have agents throughout the state of Florida. I was calling two reasons. One, introduce myself, and two was I saw you had the property listed recently on Plume Way. over in Palm Bay. I was calling to find out if you were still interested in selling that or if you decided not to. I did see it come off the market recently. If you could, please give me a call back. 786-519-7991 is my direct cell. I'm also going to shoot you a text message with a short video. We have over 500,000 views actually on YouTube. It's about the Florida market, what's going on. I've been doing this since I was 19 and it's been a long time. I'm not going to give away my age. So if you can, please call me. And I'd like to ask you about the property, a couple questions. Thank you so much. And I'll shoot you a text now as well. Have a great day.
So you see, I left them a voicemail, conversational. If they have a little bit of interest in selling their house, they're going to call back, right? Like that I'm not trying to push them, sell them. I'm being honest, straightforward with them. I have a school of a brokerage, right? When you call them, it's, we have a school, we have a brokerage, right? They don't know the difference. And you have that conversation. Now, when I hang up with them, I text them. Here's the video. Here's the second video. Here's the article. Here's our website for the school. I send them a text in addition to leaving that message, right?
Let's talk to them like I know about my whole life. Yeah. It's that simple, right?
I think the voicemail calls are easier for me.
Well, I want somebody to pick up. No, they may not even answer it. They may just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going to happen from that phone, but there, 3, 2, 1. Let me shoot you a text.
And they may not like the phone number that you call from so long. It's not.
That's what I'm saying. Normally, I call with the 904 number. They answer. That's the other thing too. But we'll see. Here, I'm gonna send this lady a text now. Or, oh, what? Okay, so I'm sending her a text. It can't hurt. Like, and then, you know, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. You know what I mean? You get one deal out of it, you make a lot of money.
Right.
You know, this deal here, I make 2, 3%, 4%. If I double side, it's 17, 18 grand.
Right.
It's like a phone call. You know what I mean? That's how you guys got to look at it. It starts with a phone call, and then the results are given. You know, and just the way I'm talking to them,
Mhm.
there's no urgency. Like I'm not trying to push them. Call and introduce myself, tell you who I am, what I do. And I want to know about this property. If you still want to sell it, I have some questions for you. If you don't, okay. That's how I'm leaving it. Now, if they have a little bit of anything that wants to sell it and they see that text and that video and who I did, what I do in school and brokerage, you think they're at least going to call and say, yeah, you called me about the property.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I saw what's going on. Are you still wanting to sell it? Did you have a problem?
Yeah.
And then they're going to open up. And then, oh, did you see my video? Oh, great. Yeah, I'll start talking about something else.
Yeah.
And then I'll bring them back and I'll bring them back. You know what I mean? You got to make people feel comfortable. You got to make them feel like they're in the spotlight. That's what people want. You got to make them feel special for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just psychology, right? You make people feel decent, feel special. They're going to want to deal with you.
Mhm.
You know, give them their 15 minutes of fame. You know what I mean? That's it's psychology. See, like here's all my auto texts are there. See,
Yeah.
they're safe. So that's my 2 videos. You know, this one here, that's a special I did for pizza. I don't need that on there actually. That's to give the pizza shop a 5-star review.
Mhm.
This is when people schedule a live scan fingerprints, I email that to them. Here's the link for Pier 21's Google reviews. Here's the YouTube channel for the brokers in school. Check out our webinar for the school. Like when somebody wants to know about how the school works and get the license, I send them that. Go watch that and I'll call you back. There's a 15-minute video that tells you everything about the school.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit there and talk. Every time somebody calls me about the school, I'm not going to sit there and talk to them all day. They can't do it. It's not possible. I don't have the time. You know, and then here, this is the website for the school. Okay? And that's it. And anytime I gotta do something, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And if I make a new one, I save it, boom, it's there. As I need it. Maybe I'll make a new one for this shit, you know? I just, you know, just keep going. Now these are all do not call. Okay, here's one. Henry Preston, Maria Preston. They live, now look, they live at a different address.
Yeah.
So this is an investment property they have. Okay?
It's 2 doors down.
Till what? 68. Yeah, it's a couple doors down.
Yeah.
It's right down the street. Yeah. So you must own a couple places over there. Yeah. Now they're over in it's like that's isn't that where Put the spaceships up, 3, 2, 1. Cape Canaveral. 3, 2, 1's like, yeah, the number's 3, 2, 1. Yeah, the area goes 3, 2, 1, like countdown for the spaceships. That's where they shoot the spaceships up. Now this is only in the market 29 days. Hi, my name's Philip Simonetta. I was trying to reach Henry. I wanted to introduce myself.
Sure.
Hi, Matt. I'm sorry. I got your number maybe by accident. I'm not sure if you know Henry. I was reaching out to him. He had a property for sale over on Dill Avenue, investment property. And I saw that it was on the market for a short time and came off. And I was wondering if he still was interested in selling that, or if it was something that he decided not to sell.
Yeah, so he's father.
Okay.
He
Yes, I saw 6872, and he also has 6860 as well, right? If I see right here.
he has
Right.
6 years where he's currently living.
Okay.
That's not on the market.
Got it.
6872 is no longer on the market either.
Okay, that's why I was calling. I actually own a real estate school, and I own a brokerage. We're based in Jacksonville, but I'm in North Carolina and Tennessee. We have about 12 agents throughout the state of Florida. We're actually just won an award for being top 5% of transactions with a small brokerage, which is pretty cool. And I was reaching out. Yeah, thank you, man. A lot of hard work goes into that. A lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like this, I like call people, and when I see stuff coming off the market, I just introduce myself and see if there's something that I could do if they were still wanting to sell or not sell. Because I saw it was only on the market for a couple of days, like 3, 4 weeks. So
So pretty much
It keeps cutting out. I don't know why.
so she.
oh sure,
So she's
yeah, no good.
Basically, the grandmother's old. It's a couple doors down. They're gonna let her live there. She's healthy, but she's old. You know what I mean? So they're gonna let her live there for the rest of her life. Then they're gonna end up selling it, probably the parents. So the great grandparent is living there. That's pretty much what he's saying to me.
For her, man.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
yeah, that's great too, because it's right down the street. So that's nice that it's right in the same neighborhood as your dog. Keep an eye. Yeah, that's wonderful. Great idea. I mean, that's great. You know what? If you don't mind, I can send you a text with a couple of videos. We do a lot on YouTube. We just had a video hit 500,000 views about the Florida market and different things about brokers. So I do a lot of education for the state and different things. So if you don't mind, I can send the videos and send the stuff to you. And anytime down the line, this property, another property, even if you just want anything, consultation, anything about real estate, I do everything in Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee. Been doing it for a long time.
Actually,
Oh,
10 years.
okay. Yeah.
But basically, he was in law enforcement 13 years. He's retired. Him and his wife sold a house in Lake City.
2 year long.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know why he does that. It's frustrating.
Yes,
Absolutely.
so definitely again.
The first video I'm going to send you, it's a half-hour long. We have just about 500,000 views. It's talking about exactly what you're mentioning. And I give my prediction. And a buddy of mine, Todd Sachs, he's out of Baltimore. He has a huge YouTube channel. And literally, you should see the comments. There's like almost 2,000 comments on it. We're talking about exactly this. I believe, next three to 6 months, you got between a 10 and 30% drop. I'll tell you why. Okay, I just did I'm statistics. Like everything I do is statistics. Okay, and right now I just took the 5 major cities: Jacksonville, Naples, Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and I took a house and took what the average rent is for that same house, and then I took it and I said, okay, if somebody buys this house at today's rate with 10% down, what their taxes, the homeowner's insurance, any HOA fees, anything like that. And the range, okay, in Jacksonville, it's a little lower, and in Miami, it's the highest. But the range, if you rent the same house instead of buying it, right now is anywhere from $500 to about $1,500 less a month, depending on the house. So the only thing that's going to change that is either the rates have to come down, which, the low rates in the recent past is insane. I mean, the rates right now is 5, 6, 7%. That's average over the last 50 years. So rates were, pushed down, falsely, really. I mean, the government did that. They pushed that down and they created the inflation, all this crazy stuff. But here's the bottom line. So if you rent a house right now, you're paying $500 to $1,500 less, depending where you are. But the only thing that's gonna change that is if rates come down, which we just said aren't, but it's not foreseeable. The only other thing that can happen is the prices have to come down to equal out or come below the ones, right? To make it sense for buyers. So right now, the market's frozen. I mean, there's no first time buyers. There's no buyers that are moving up to like you're doing. You're waiting, right? You're waiting. So, and everybody is. You're not the only one. It's cheaper to rent. It's cheaper to rent. Like what you're renting right now. Like I just had a gentleman, real quick. I don't want to get off top, but I just had a gentleman over in Marco Island. He's renting a house for $3,000 a month. The same house to buy it 3 blocks away, he was looking to buy it, was almost $1,800 a month more because of the insurance and the taxes. Same house, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, same house. So, yeah,
Well, me and my wife were renting a 4-2 townhome,
yep,
$2,400 a month,
yep,
in the Cook area, and
yep,
so, I mean, it's,
yep,
but,
yep.
we sold our house in Lake County,
Wow.
because we only held on to it for like 4 years, and it doubled in value.
Absolutely.
So we
Good
got
move.
rid of the money away, and just,
Yep.
we're just renting and waiting. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
I watch it
Yeah.
closely to see like the new home values,
Yes.
even out with the used, like who's the house in my used home,
Yep.
same price
It's
as a
crazy.
brand new home there, and nobody's gonna do that.
I just, it's fine. Yeah.
So, yeah, it has to drop.
You know what's crazy too? What the builders are doing is, okay, so they're saying, okay, we're selling a house for 500,000, but they're giving people a $30,000 buy down, or they're giving them $30,000 in extras. So what they're
Right.
doing is they're still selling for 500, so it artificially keeps the comps up, but they're really selling it for like 430, 440. Because they're giving them buy downs and 30,000 in kitchen counters and upgrades, and it's like it's holding the market up. The builders are doing that because it's still going to show sold at 500, even though they really got 440 because they bought the rate down and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So we talk about that in the video, actually, the one I'm going to send you. But all that's going on right now, and that can only last so long. I'm telling you, I'm holding, like I invest for real estate all over the country, and I'm just there's a correction coming beyond belief. And nobody, they're not talking about it, social media, all this stuff. They're not.
Oh no.
If they were talking about it and they knew about it, it would never happen. You know what I mean? Like these people.
It's just like in the 70s.
Yeah.
You thought stuff I'm alone. I'm
Yeah.
very stuff.
Sure. Yep.
People get things.
Yeah.
They're doing all this shit, and
Yeah.
when they did the quantitative, when they're starting to do the quantitative, well, they've been doing quantitative hiking.
Yeah. Sure.
So,
Yeah.
they're gonna flash.
Yeah, but it's all fiat. They're killing it, man. The inflation is so high right now, and and I tell you, this thing in Baltimore with the bridge is gonna push inflation another 2-3 points just because of the transportation. They're gonna kill the Jacksonville port with all the stuff to the south, and they're gonna have to go up north to like Newark and up north with the stuff to the north. But 70% of all the cars and all the car parts came in there. All that port is huge, dude. And the other thing is, and then here's the thing too, all the fuel, that was the only place they could bring the fuel in and take it south and north. 95. You can't get around it without that bridge. Those trucks won't fit in the tunnels. You can't get the fuel from the north to the south right now. Like there's like I don't know what they're gonna do. Like and no one's talking about it. But that's a fact. I mean, I'm from Philly. I grew up in Philly. I was in a restaurant business and I did real estate and oh, you're from Jersey? Yeah. So I mean, it's what it is. But nobody's talking about it. And it's just like, I mean, you had the Baltimore port and you had the California port, 2 largest ports in the country. And they just shut one down, dude, like for years. That thing's not gonna be done.
The worst thing, there's a deal too in Florida, and this is the biggest problem is fucking insurance.
Yeah.
Insurance companies, they do whatever the fuck they want to do. It's great. Like we had, so I was a cop for a very long time. I was in a skater.
Yeah.
Short story. Me and the house we owned in Lake County, and we had it was a built like 92 or something like that. It was like when we first moved in, it was like 15 years old, say, but the insurance company has to do inspections every single year, right?
Yeah.
And so 2-3 years ago, called out roofing company. They looked at it. They're like, "You've got over 60 tiles because we had a little leak." And they're like, "Yeah, you have over 60 tiles that have significant damage and hail damage." Blah, 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 blah.
They got the whole roof done, right?
Well, I called the insurance company. It was Citizens, and I called the insurance company. I'm like, hey, look, I want you guys to come out. There's a leak. Da da da. They come out and at first they go, oh, you have 8 tiles that are delaminated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, 8. So obviously they'll say that while they're on stage.
Sure.
And then I got the fucking thing in the mail, and I'm like,
Yeah.
This is bullshit. They cut us a check for like $2,500.
Yeah.
And I was like, Florida law, you have to have matching, color.
Yep.
She was sitting outside the same conditions. It's not the same.
Yeah.
So they came back out. You don't even believe this. They decreased the claim. I've never seen this in my life. They decreased it to only 4 tiles. Well, and they're like, but you could keep the money anyway. I'm like, fuck y'all. And I'm like, I was like, the roof was just inspected 4 months prior. It was inspected by the insurance company. I said, I've got all this evidence showing that all this was fine before the storm, and you're trying to fight us on. I said, I was caught for a long time. I know it's civil court. It's honest the evidence. Believe me, I was like, these are the evidence I have. I said, I've talked to a roofing contractor. I said, I didn't tell you all this before, but now I'm telling you. I know there's over 60 tiles that are damaged, blah, blah, blah. They were like, and I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, we're not going to do it. I'm like, I'm going to call Morgan. They said, well, do whatever you got to do. I said, okay. So I did.
Yeah.
And
I get it for you.
And they ended up, it's an $18,000 roof, and they ended up having to come out of like $64,000.
Yeah, and pay for the lawyers and everything else. Yeah. Yep. Good for you.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem now. So we that awarded. The attorney was like, you're lucky you got it when you did. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, House Bill HB2 or something like that.
Yeah, wipe them out.
Right. You can't sue for attorney's costs and fees anymore.
Right. Yeah, because the insurance companies lobby for that. That's what they did. Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, so now they really don't have the reason. They don't have any reason to do anything.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you right now, there's a deal we're working on. I have a gentleman moved from Colorado to Florida. See, they're the kind of people that are buying. That's the only people. They're selling properties outside the state, cashing out and coming here and buying cash. So they're closing on a condo, Marco Island, April 22nd. The insurance, okay, the HOA association was $865 a month. That was the association fee. Get this. Now it's on the water. It's about right. I mean, that's what it costs. Marco Island's insane, to live there. So anyway, it's $575 for a 2-bedroom condo. It's crazy, dude. I mean, I wouldn't buy it, but anyway, they're buying it there. Now the HOA fee was $865. The insurance company 2 months ago raised the insurance $162,000 a year for the whole. More $162,000 more than they were paying for the whole complex. So each unit for 10 months, the association had to take a loan to pay it. And each unit for 10 months, like this unit I'm talking about, it went up to $1,440 a month for 10 months. Then it goes back down to $1,200. So it went from $865 to $1,200 because of the increase, but they had to take a loan out for the current increase because they didn't have it in reserves. So it's going to go from $865 to $12, but really it's going to $14 for the next 10 months to make it even.
Yeah.
Now what stops them now from 2 years from doing it again?
Nothing.
And that's the sick part.
Yeah, and here's the deal too. Is I try because a lot of guys I talk to are like, oh, that market's not just that. Like,
I'll tell you something, man.
Here's the thing with insurance companies. I said they're raising the rates. I said your mortgage is fixed. Your insurance is not.
And the HOA fees aren't either. All the other fees. Yeah. I mean, condo fees. Yeah.
Hey,
you can own your condo. You can own it. You can have everything current. And the next thing you know, you can't afford your HOA fees. HOA foreclosure only takes 30 days. Not no 3 years. 30 days. They go file it, and investors buy it, and you're out, man. And there's nothing you can do. It's crazy. I'm familiar. I deal with all them. I know.
I 1,000% agree with you. We're just laughing. I mean,
yeah.
You said 3 months.
I'm telling you, it's here. It's like everything's stagnant. And I've never seen anything. Like if you look, I can show you. I can jump on Zoom and show you. If I show you I'm in 3 different MLSs, right? Because I'm all over the state. I have agents everywhere, so I have to be in all the MLSs. And not only that, you have all these lawsuits going on, the NAR lawsuit, all this stuff with the buyer agents getting sued. Like there's a lot of stuff going on in the industry on top of everything else, So I can show you inventory is up 700, 1,200% places. I mean, nothing's selling, tons of stuff coming on the market. All these Airbnb properties,
people are getting out of them. They're putting them on the market because they can't make any money. Airbnb dropped. And then you got all the foreclosures going to be hitting the market because people can't pay their bills. There is a storm. You think 2008 was bad? I'm telling you, this is 2008, but it's commercial too. All these commercial buildings. Okay, so all these big $100 million buildings downtown in every city. Okay, the owners of those buildings, the hedge funds and all the people that own them, they don't pay them off. Okay, they do 10-year loans, interest only. So if they buy it for 100 million, they pay interest only. It's not based off your credit report. It's based off the income of the building. Okay, so all your leases get you the loan. So now there's next quarter. Okay, there's tons of them. There's like $3 trillion coming up to be refinanced. Here's the problem. I'm talking nationwide. Like every city has problems right now. The problem is these buildings are based off what you're renting them for. Now the tenancies are down 25 to 50% because all these companies are working from home didn't renew their leases. So now a building that was $100 million 6 years ago, 5 years, whatever when they did it 5 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever it adjusted. Now they don't look at the building for the value. They look at the income on the building. If the income cut in half, they're not going to be able to get a mortgage. They're going to end up collapsing. Like they're going to collapse the commercial side of the industry, and that's going to roll into the residential side. That's worse. I mean, I'm telling you, just do a little research into it. And no one's talking about it. These banks are they're so close to failing. It's crazy, man. And like all the big banks, Chase is taking them over. Yeah, they're monopolizing everything. The government's involved in
Like,
telling you.
like these people don't.
Yeah.
Fucking, they don't care as long as they're making money on them.
The way I look at it, man. You ever see the old Christmas special? I don't know how old you are, but the old Christmas special. I got 10 years. I'm 47. I got 11 years. So there was a Christmas special when I was a kid. It was like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Eskimo, and it wasn't Rudolph, but it was like they were all in it. And there was a place called Misfit Island, and it was like there was a Charlie in the box instead of a Jack in the box, and there was a choo-choo train that had square wheels, and it was like rolling with square wheels. It was like Misfit. It was all misfits. It was like it just didn't, you know what I mean? And it reminds me, like, that's who's leading us. The people who are leading us are all these misfits, and they just don't. Like, they don't care. Like we're led by now, either they're really smart at trying to collapse shit, or they're just idiots and they just don't know what they're doing. And I find it hard to believe that they don't know what they're doing, you know?
The care.
Well, yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, I agree.
But I mean, they're the one on the line. They're the ones that have been.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. Make sure. Yeah, listen. I was in the business. I know.
Well, sure.
Yeah, you got lucky, man. Good timing. Good timing.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fourth game time to 3-2.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, owning it, right.
but
But you know something, but it's happened. I'm cash. I had cash, dude. I sold everything. I have like one investment property right now. I sold everything I own. I'm sitting on cash because I just can't wait. I can't wait, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna triple my value. I'm gonna triple my value when this happens. I'm telling you. I'm just waiting, man. And I'm doing a development project right now down in Orlando over towards Disney there. We're building some townhouses, so we're getting that done, but it's a little risky, but you know, I gotta do something. I get bored, you know, I can't,
Yeah.
I gotta take some kind of chance. But
Yeah. I
you know,
mean, you never get in if you don't.
no, I know, but it's crazy times. So I just don't know where it's going, and I'm trying to stay ahead of the curve. And just like I called to introduce myself to you guys, like this is what I do on a daily basis, and I you know, because I've been doing this since I was a kid. You know, my son, he's 25. He's a broker and an instructor with me, so I teach him business and. Yeah.
From law enforcement to selling cars, actually.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
a very large, I don't think very large dealerships.
That's cool.
You know, buying a car, but
Yeah.
I mean, it doubled my yearly.
Absolutely. Sales are where the money is,
I
man.
mean, I've always loved real estate. I've always had sweat equity. I mean, as long as it's not station or roofing.
Yeah.
Depending on how much it costs and how much legal
Yeah.
costs.
That's what I do too.
A big value. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I really do want to get my license here soon.
What I'll do is when we hang up, I'm gonna text you all my stuff. I actually have the real estate school, which is where I'm licensed by the Florida Real Estate Commission. We educate, we do the 63-hour class. I certify you, you get your certificate, you take your license. And then once you have your license, you'll see there's brokers all over out there, but you really, I'll send you my info. Look at my brokerage and what I do. I build, I develop, I do it all. And if you guys want to do that, you and your wife, I'm more than happy to sit down and talk to you because I do the classes live on Zoom. So we do, it's 63 hours live on Zoom at night in the evenings. And I do that because most people are working during the day. And I do classes like every other month. So the next one is the first week of May. So we do a 63-hour course, certify you, you take your test, you get your license, and then I do all of our training through Zoom. I do all of our training through live on Zoom and then also in the office here. But like I said, I have agents in Marco Island, Naples, Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, Miami. I actually have agents in New York that are licensed in Florida. Like I have people out of state and we do everything online. It's like kind of like an online brokerage, but we have our brokerage headquarters is here in Jacksonville. But it's, kind of like the EXP model, like they do everything online. All of our meetings are online, everything. So if you're here, I've been doing this since I was 19 and I took all the fluff and the bullshit out of the business and I teach people how to make money, because the licensing teaches you how to stay out of jail. The problem is people get in and no one teaches them how to make money and then they fail. It's not like a job when you go to work, you punch the time clock, you have a list of things to do and then you go home, right? You punch out. This job isn't like that. Just like car sales, right? You got to make your shit happen. Like if I didn't call you, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. So I had to take the initiative. And then don't get me wrong, I got to make 1,000 calls, 500 calls a day. A lot of people hang up this, that, but once they realize you know what you're talking about, you become friends with people and they realize, wow, this guy really cares and he knows what he's talking about. I think he can help me, that kind of thing. And that's kind of how I make my business from day one. Nobody knows you unless you introduce yourself, right? So
100%.
but what I'll do is I'm gonna let you go. What I'll do is as soon as we hang up, I'm gonna text you the info. I'll send you the videos and then I'll send you the link to the school. And you'll see there's all kinds of videos, you'll see our awards. I'll send you everything. That way you have it. And oh man, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to it. Call me anytime, man. Let me know when we get closer. I'll enroll you in the class. I'll get you going, man. I'll get you set up. All right, man. All right, take care. Bye.
All right, so that's pretty much it. So you see that's how calls work. You know what I mean? You really you start talking to people, you have conversations with them, and it turns into things, right? I mean, that's pretty much what happens. I didn't know that guy from Adam. And what you do is you do that every day. You talk to, you make a couple hundred calls, you get through to maybe 10, 15 people. You have 3, 4, 5 good conversations. Next thing you know, you got a listing or two a week. A listing a week's 52 a year. 2 a week is 140, 104 a year, right? Your average commission, anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000. Just simply do the math, the statistics, right? That's how it works, man. Call people 2, 3 hours a day, have conversations. Now, if you're not just calling people, you can talk to people at lunch. You could talk to people at a restaurant. You could talk to people at a bar. You're constantly having conversations and talking to people on the same wavelength. Now, you see the talking points. I went through them. I didn't hit all of them. I hit the ones I needed to hit, right? That's what I hit there. The talking points that I needed to hit. Okay. And as you learn them and you can roll, you can do the same things. In the beginning, you can do, similar to what I did in the beginning. You want to go through everything until you see what works and what doesn't work for you. And now what the hot buttons are. Now, depending on what their hot buttons are, I go into certain things. I go into other things, right? It depends on the situation. Give me 1 second. Second, guys. I got a broker contacting me about something. Hold on 1 second. All right, so what do you guys think? Just from the conversation, like you could do the same thing. There's no reason you can't. You have the knowledge, you have the information, that the things are there, right? Give me a little bit of feedback, like what you think. That's how calls are made. You just call people, talk to them, have conversations, and it turns into things.
Yeah, I mean, feels doable. I've been reviewing the talking points and, I don't know if I believe I told you yesterday, I make a couple phone calls, no answers. I did not left, a voicemail or none of that stuff, but it's doable. I mean, I'm eager to do it. I don't feel, you know, scared or nothing. I just,
Yeah,
go with the flow. Like you say, if they listen to you, they do. If they tell you go fuck yourself, whatever. It doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
doesn't.
I mean, it does. The thing is, the people you get through to help, that's all that matter,
Correct.
right? It's all that matters. When you're trying to get through to people and give them advice and just guide them with the right information, right? That's the goal. That's the goal. All right, cool. All right, so what I want to do is I want to get into lead follow-up, okay? And I'm gonna play a recording. This is a Mike Ferry from the Mike Ferry training. And I want you to hear his recording on the lead follow-up, and then we're gonna go more into it. Okay, so let me pull this up. Now, these trainings, the Mike Ferry stuff, is in our folder. So if you guys want to go through and listen to the Mike Ferry program is what I paid the 12 grand for. And if you want to go through, you can go through CD by CD of the program. And then the training stuff I did was live with them once a week. I had calls and we had goals and stuff we set, and we did things. So you come into trainings and you go into what did I happen in here? Hold on. Under trainings. Oh, training courses, sorry. Under training courses, Mike Ferry. And we're gonna go into lead follow-up. Okay. This one here is on disc 4. So we have all these here, and every section is in here too. What they do, introduction, different things that he teaches. Okay, so the lead follow-up one, I'm gonna pull up here. I want you guys to listen to this, and I'm gonna go in a little more detail. It's about 20 minutes long. All right, and this is probably one of the most important things other than prospecting. Okay. So I'm gonna play this. Give me a thumbs up if the sound's okay. I don't know if it's just as loud.
Hi, it's Mike and welcome
Guys,
to
all right?
CD number
Okay.
5 in your coaching sales kit. And this, of course, topic is a critical one to all of our success, and that is the topic of lead follow-up. I want to start by saying to you that probably the most difficult part of becoming a great agent is defining each aspect of your business as to how you're going to operate, how you're going to make it work, what the standards are going to be for making that part of your business a successful part of your business. The more you define what you do, the more you really look carefully at how to make it work, the better your business will be. So in lead follow-up, the definition of what a lead is critical. Now, I want you to listen carefully to what I'm going to say next. My job is to extend you, to push you, to maximize what I believe you can accomplish and do. I'm going to make you run as fast as you can run. I'm going to make you do as much as you can do. You're going to back off and do what you're capable of. But I'm going to keep pushing and trying to extend you to make you better than you are today. So when we look at point number 1 in lead follow-up, you'll see why I'm going to try to maximize your performance. Point number 1 says the Mike Ferry definition of a lead. It's a person that will sign a contract within 7 to 10 days of the time you generate or find that lead. A person will sign a contract within 7 to 10 days of the time you found that lead. So then my question for you is, what is your definition of a lead? And how did you determine what that definition actually is? Or do you even have a definition for a lead? See, how can you do lead follow-up if you can't define in your mind what a lead is? Point number 2 is be fanatical about your lead follow-up because they gave you their name and their phone number for a reason. I'm always amazed, and I gotta tell you, this fascinates me. I'll say to an agent, how many leads do you have? Well, I've got 8. And when's the last time you talked to them? Well, I haven't talked to some of them for quite a long time. Wait a minute, how did you get that lead? Well, I met him at a store, I met him at a social function, I was out prospecting. Wait a minute, somebody said to you that the thing about buying or selling, and they gave you their name and number and you never followed up? Nah, I got busy, I didn't have a chance. Man, I want to smack you right in the head. For goodness sakes, you have to become a fanatic in this one part of the sales process, lead follow-up, because they gave you their name and number for a reason. And that, of course, is to either buy or sell real estate. Point number 3, 70% of your appointments will always come from lead follow-up, not from your first contact with these people. Most appointments come because the agent is great at lead follow-up. And if you become great at lead follow-up, which means you have the courage of your convictions because you say you're the best agent for that person, to exercise that courage and call them back and say, when can we get together? But if you don't have the courage of your convictions, you won't call them back and you will not get the appointments that you should get. Here's a quote for you for point number 4. If I'm not getting a substantial amount of my business from lead follow-up, I'm not doing a good job on lead follow-up. And that was a quote from yours truly, Mike Ferry, from 1985, when I was doing a seminar. I said to this group, if you're not getting a good portion of your business lead follow-up, you're not doing a good job on lead follow-up. And of course, the question then is, what is a good job on lead follow-up? It starts with defining, okay, the definition of a lead. If you say to yourself, well, if I get a lead today and I call them and do something with the next year, I'm okay. If you get a lead today, do you actually think they're going to remember you 3, 6, 9 months from now? The answer is no. You're getting your business from lead follow-up. Don't let that ever pass you by. And then, of course, I wrote point number 5, which came from one of our great clients, Ron Wexler, back in Chicago, where he said the most important part of a good lead follow-up program is a large trash can near your desk. You have to accept the fact that you will cycle and throw a large number of your leads away to achieve the goals you've set. Because they said they want to buy or sell doesn't mean they will. And your ability to follow up and to qualify, find out their motivation becomes a critical part of the process. Point number 6, we have to learn to throw away leads because the better we become at building our business, the fewer the leads we actually need. Isn't it interesting how so many salespeople carry stacks and stacks of leads around forever? Our very, very, very first one-on-one coaching client was, I think it was May of 1996, I believe, is when this young lady was our first one-on-one coaching client, Diane Mazzacco. And I remember plain as day, in my very first conversation with Diane, I said, how many leads do you have right now? Listen to what her answer was. She said she had 490 plus leads. I looked at her and I said, how can you do 13 or 14 transactions a year with 490 leads? That's impossible. Well, what she had done, like most agents, she really had never taken the time to define what a lead actually is. What she had done is she'd accumulated for 3, 6, 9 months all the expireds in the marketplace, had them all stacked up around her desk, and in her mind thought those were leads. Okay. I said to her on my very first call with her, throw 90% of them away and start over. Well, she was devastated. She was shocked. But I'm going to tell you right now, are all the leads you have any good? Are they really valid? Or are you just holding on to them because you think they create security for you? Number 7, each week, take a careful look at the total number of leads you have. See how many will actually sign a contract in the next 7 days. If they won't sign a contract the next 7 to 10 days, make a decision as to what you're going to do with them. Make a decision, which ties into point number 8. Now listen carefully, 7 and 8 together. Since you have 7 to 10 days to convert a lead to an appointment, don't be afraid to be a little more aggressive when you talk to these people. Mary, you gave me your name. I really want to prove to you that if you choose to list with me, that I'm the most aggressive agent you're going to find to list your home. And I want to prove it by saying to you again right now, what day this week can we get together and get your home listed and sold? Be aggressive. Buyers and sellers want to deal with people that are aggressive. They're tired of dealing with all the wimps and wimpettes in this industry. The people that make all the promises, never do anything. Be an aggressive agent. Watch point number 9. Since most agents have too many leads, and the disadvantages of having too many leads are the following. First, of course, bad leads always hide the good ones from you, which they do. Second, if most of our leads are not great ones, the urgency for lead follow-up is diminished. Third, it's a huge waste of time to be tracking and calling people on a regular basis who are not going to be doing anything in the near future. And then D, remember, you always get what you're looking for. Either you're prospecting to get a lead or you're prospecting to get an appointment. If your job is to prospect to get an appointment, a lead is just a temporary part of the sales process. Point number 10, one of the fears that we have when doing lead follow-up is specifically asking for a person's motivation, because they may or may not be motivated. And if they're not motivated, then we have to start all over again because we know we don't have a real lead. Guys and gals, a lead is a piece of paper. A lead is a name typed into a computer. What you're looking for is a motivated person that has to or wants to do something, whether it be buy or sell now. If we don't have the courage to ask for the motivation, there's a very, very rare chance that we're ever going to do anything substantially big in terms of production in this business. Obviously, point number 11 then becomes a critical one. If we remember what our job is as an agent, it's A, to generate leads, B, convert those leads to appointments, and C, go on appointments faster. That's our job. Generate leads, convert leads, and go on appointments. See, the only way we can ever get to substantial productivity is to be generating leads every day, converting those leads to appointments, and then going on appointments all the time. So my question for you then is, which of these are your strengths and which are your weaknesses that you have to perfect? Point number 13. Excuse me, point number 12. Remember that lead follow-up is like prospecting. It's a numbers game. Let's go back to my quote from Ron Wexler earlier in this CD. Have a large trash can next to your desk because you'll throw a lot of leads away. You've got to get over the fact that you're there to, accumulate a lot of leads. Your job is to get a lead, to convert it, and go on appointment. So therefore, like prospecting, it becomes a pure and simple numbers game. Number 13, leads have no actual value. Now think about what I said. Leads technically have no actual value. Appointments and contracts have value. So the objective is to turn the lead into appointment ASAP or get rid of them as quickly as you can. Since lead have like,
Does that make sense to you guys? Like, yeah, we get 1,000 leads a day. 600 people come off the market. They're leads. They don't mean shit until you have an appointment contract, right? So that's why I tell you, go through them. They're numbers. Until you get contact with them and get them into an appointment, they're nothing. Because there's thousands of agents calling them, right? A lead is just a number. It's a contact. Until you, it's a way of contacting it then. They're just out there. You could have 600 people. It don't mean shit until you talk to them, right? So you got to contact them, make the appointment. And then from there, we got it, right? We turn them into a client. A contract is what we want, not a contact or a lead, right? It starts off as a lead. Then you get a contact. Then the contact turns into an appointment. The appointment turns into a contract, right? That's the key. So you can have thousands, you can have stacks of paper, people on them. Doesn't mean nothing until you're talking to them, right?
leads have no value. The faster you convert them, the better chance you have. Number 14, always look at the following question carefully. Is my mindset about managing leads, or is my mindset about going on appointments? Well, Mike, now you've brought this.
When he's saying appointments, that's a Zoom meeting. Get them to an appointment in his terms is a Zoom meeting for us. Get them into a Zoom meeting, beginning with you and me. And eventually, when you don't need me on the call and on the process with you, it's a Zoom meeting with you, right?
Same thought up 3 or 4 times in a row. Come on, move on. Why do you keep bringing the same thing up? Because unfortunately, our industry is not a sales industry. Our industry is a very strange industry in the fact that we don't teach the specifics of our job as well as we should.
This is critical.
So look, is it my mindset of managing a lead, or is it my mindset of going on appointments? Because if my mindset is managing a lead, we're never gonna go on the number of appointments we wanna go on. Number 15, the primary purpose of our lead follow-up is to keep reselling the individual on the appointment, not to just keep building rapport. Hi, Mary, how are you? Haven't talked to you in a couple of days. You and Helen, the kids okay? Is the puppy fine? Gosh, I hope everything's okay for you guys. And I was kind of wondering, is there any chance we could get together? Come on, give me a break here, okay? Your job, when you get a lead, is to get an appointment. So let's not worry about the rapport, let's worry about the appointment. Point 16, since we all have the same leads, let me repeat this. Since we all have the same leads, thinking they're going to get better with age makes no sense. I'll repeat this one. Since we all have the same leads, we all have the same leads. In your town, the buyers and sellers are always working with a variety of agents. If we think they're going to get better with time and over age makes no sense, because somebody is going to be aggressive. We want it to be you to go after that lead and turn into an appointment. Number 17, leads do not represent security. They're names on a piece of paper that need to be called. Diane Mazzacco, back in 1996, actually believed that because she had 490 past expireds, that she had some security. There's no security on a piece of paper or on a name on the computer. The security comes with the appointment, the confidence to go out and do that appointment at a high level and get a contract signed. So with that being said, let's go to point 18. Too many people overprotect their leads by putting them into computers and elaborate database systems rather than calling them every day. Why would you bother to go through all that exercise? Since we know that only a small percentage of the leads you have are ever going to convert. I'll give you an example. I was doing a seminar in Portland, Oregon. This was 10, 15 years ago. And I was talking about lead follow-up to the group. And I gave them an assignment. And the assignment was, okay, when you get home tonight, call every lead you have and ask for an appointment. I don't care when you got the lead, where you got the lead from, call every lead you have and ask for an appointment. That's your assignment. See you tomorrow morning. So the next day I said to the audience, well, how many called their leads? And of course, both put their hands up. And one lady stood up and she goes, I have to tell you what happened last night to me. I said, okay, what happened to you? And then she looked across from me and she said, Bob, stand up. And this guy stood up kind of sheepishly. His face got red. She said, 8 or 9 years ago, my husband and I were transferred here to Portland with his job. We went out and we looked at a bunch of open houses to try to buy a house. And we gave our names and numbers to a lot of agents. Last night, and she pointed across the room, Bob called me and said the following. Hi, Mary, this is Bob. I met you at an open house. Are you still thinking of buying a home? And then she smiled and said, I gave Bob my name and number 9 years ago. And then she smiled and said, Bob, what have you been waiting for? Here's the worst part. They've been working for the last 8 years in the same office in real estate. He's been holding onto a lead that was completely bogus for 8 years with the name of a person who sat next to him in the office. We may be overprotecting our leads. Number 19, our goal is to call every lead at the exact moment they're thinking about buying or selling a home. The more leads I have choking my system, the less chance I have of calling them at the right moment. Interesting. I'll talk to a person doing 100 deals a year. How many leads do you have right now? 3. I'll talk to a person doing 3 deals a year. How many leads do you have right now? 30. That doesn't even make sense, does it? Because see, a person doing 50, 7,500 deals a year, they're processing those leads all the time. They're only going to have a couple of leads because they're aiming to get an appointment that day to get a contract signed. But a person doing 3 deals a year is carrying around a stack full of leads, and they can never call the people at the right time because they have too many leads to call. Point number 20, we have to remove this thought from our head. I can take an unmotivated person and through long-term follow-up, make them motivated. Well, I tell you, this is really poor business thinking. and it's really a big ego that has nothing to back it up. Guys and gals, if you aren't motivated, there's nothing I can do to motivate you. Motivation is an internal thing, not external. It's all internal. Motivation, motive to action. You have to have a motive, a goal, and you have to take action to achieve it. If you're talking to a seller that is non-motivated, doesn't have any interest in doing anything, it doesn't matter how often you talk to them, they're not going to suddenly change their mind. Point number 21. Remember, if you close 100 transactions a year, you only need 150 to 200 leads in the course of a year. See, once you get good at this process of lead follow-up, once you become great at your prospecting and lead follow-up and pre-qualifying and presentations, you're going to discover you need way less needs than you ever thought you needed. Point 22. Our industry with time and over age makes no sense because somebody is going to be aggressive. We want to. So with that being said, let's go to point 18.
So what I hit the thing by mistake. So you guys see that, like Crystal, when you guys see me on the phone, I need less people to talk to get a contact, right? To make it a contract. Because it's like second nature to me because I've been doing it so long. When you guys talk to people, you know, you saw like when I was training that kid, he got hung up on. I called back and got the appointment, right? Got the deal. That's because I know I feel what people are saying. I know what needs to be said and how to get it, right? I'm not going to let it fall through the cracks. I'm going to take it and get it. It takes time and it takes practice, years of practice to be able to do that, right? So the more experience, the more you do this, the less calls you have to make to get to the deals, right? Does that make sense for everybody? It takes dedication, it takes practice. I mean, nothing's easy, right? Nothing's easy that's rewarding. You know, to make a lot of money, it's an easy it's a simple process, but it's not easy, right? You got to get that down to make a lot of money, right? It's not like you get lucky and you make money. It doesn't work that way, right?
Too many people overprotect their leads by putting them in and ask for an appointment. Just to try to buy a house. And we gave our names and numbers to a lot of agents. Last night, and she pointed across the room, Bob called the name of a person who sat next to him in the office, stack full of leads, and they can never call the people at the right time because you have to have a motive, a goal, and you have to take action to achieve it. If you're talking to a seller that is non-motivated, doesn't have any interest in doing anything, it doesn't matter how often you talk to them, they're not going to suddenly change their mind. Point number 21. Remember, if you close 100 transactions a year, you only need 150 to 200 leads in the course of a year. See, once you get good at this process of lead follow-up, once you become great at your prospecting and lead follow-up and pre-qualifying and presentations, you're going to discover you need way less needs than you ever thought you needed. Point 22, keep your lead cards with you at all times and keep calling them until you get an appointment because other people have your leads also. Point 23, do your lead follow-up right after your prospecting is completed because your mindset is real strong at that point. See, if you do your prospecting, let's say from 9 to 10, do your lead follow-up at 10 o'clock. If you do your prospecting from say 8:30 to 11:30, do your lead follow-up at 11:30. Always do it when your mind is at the highest level of strength. And of course, point number 24, prospecting without good lead follow-up is a complete waste of time and energy. You might as well make that your mantra. If I'm going to work so hard to build my business and not follow up on the leads I have,
that makes sense, right? Prospecting and getting new people to talk to and never calling them back to have a second conversation or anything. What's the point of prospecting if you're not going to follow up? The follow-up is more important than the prospecting. Like that guy I talked to, right? Him, his wife, this whole deal. I already text him. We've been texting back and forth a couple of days now. It's about the follow-up. Building that relationship turns into the deal, right? Sometimes you talk once, twice, get a deal, like that lady. This guy, I'll probably talk to him for a couple of months before we do anything, right? They're going to sign up for the class in May. They're going to get their license. So does that make sense? Like some people you talk to a lot, some people you talk to a couple times, right? But the follow-up, I mean, the connection, the prospecting's the most important. Well, to get the person. Then to nurture it is the lead follow-up. You see the difference? You see how important both of them are in a different way, right?
not really working on building my business. Point number 26, I really want you to, excuse me, point number 25, I want you to really think about this carefully. Let your prospects know, tell them, be honest, that you're going to be very aggressive to demonstrate the type of service that you offer. See, you need to let your prospects know, hey, listen, you give me your name and number. I'm going to push real hard now to get an appointment to help you achieve the goals you've set. Well, I don't want you to be too aggressive. Wait a minute. My job is to be aggressive to get your home sold. My job is to be aggressive to find you the home you want. Let them know you're going to be aggressive because that's part of the role, being a great salesperson. And then point 26, remember this question. Have we lost more business because we were over aggressive or under aggressive in our lead follow-up? In essence, call more than you should instead of calling less than you should. Point 27, your lead follow-up calls are not contacts to be made and used towards your prospecting goals. Don't get involved in that. Prospecting is one issue. Lead follow-up is a completely separate issue. And our last point on lead follow-up, consider using the Mike Ferry lead follow-up system. It's very complicated. It's a hard one to use, but I think you can pull it off. A stack of 100 3x5 cards. And then on each 3x5 card, put the name, address, and phone number, email address, etc. on that card. And then in the right-hand corner of the card, put is it B for buyer, S for seller, so you know which one you're talking to. And then at the bottom of the card, put the date you acquired the lead, and next to it, write the date you're willing to throw it away. Are you willing to keep the lead for 5 days, 7 days, 30 days, 60 days? Put that on the card so you'll know exactly the time frame you're working that lead on. And then the third part of my lead follow-up is call them and ask them 2 questions. First, do you still have to buy or sell a home? And second, can we set an appointment at this moment to get that job done for you? Guys and gals, a lot of you work real hard at your lead follow-up and your prospecting, and you're not getting the results you want for only one reason. You're not setting standards that are forcing you to work hard. Let's set higher standards. Let's set stronger standards. Let's call every lead we have today and ask for an appointment and go generate a new lead for tomorrow. I'll look forward to talking to you in a few minutes on our next CD.
Okay, critical, right? Lead follow-up. And now that we're going to end the prospecting, right? We're going to finish our prospecting lead follow-up. We're going to start we're going to finish up lead follow-up tonight, but there's one more audio from the Mike Ferry I want you guys to understand. I'm going to take you back to his prospecting audio. Okay, so tonight we finish up these sections. And the last thing we're going to do is go over the prospecting audio from those guys. And then you can go back and listen to these anytime you want, okay? And then after this, I'm going to go through the manual for this section with you guys.
Hello, it's Mike Ferry again, and we are on CD number 3, your favorite topic. I can't wait to talk to you about this topic. It's one that you've been dying to hear about. It's one that I know every single day you just beg for more good information. It's one that you're dying to become an expert at. And that, of course, is nothing more than the good old-fashioned topic of prospecting. Now, I have to say, to start this particular CD with all of you, that one of the most fascinating parts of this incredibly great industry of real estate we're all involved in is that it's the only industry that I know of. And now, guys and gals, I am in my 67th year. Okay, I've been involved in selling since I was 18. I've been around the block a few times. I have a basic understanding of sales, a basic understanding of business. I've run my own business now for in excess of 37 years. It is a sales business. The only thing I don't understand about real estate on a big scale is why we have a sales industry. Real estate is a sales industry. And let's get real clear on that. If you think for a minute real estate is not a sales industry, you have chosen to join the wrong industry because it's a sales industry. And on top of that, it's a direct sales industry, meaning that if you're not capable, willing, understand how to, and are able to every day go out and talk to people, you have virtually no chance of ever becoming a big star, a big success, or producing a lot of revenue in this business of selling real estate. We're in an industry where it is actually frowned upon, looked down upon, and we're actually taught not to, and in some cases actually told, you don't have to prospect if you want to make money in real estate. Now, they're right. You don't have to prospect if you don't want to make money in real estate. Hear the key words there? If your goal is not to make money in real estate, you don't have to prospect. You don't have to do anything. Because one thing we know for sure, if you're not prospecting and you're not doing anything, you're not going to make any money. Oh yeah, you can go out and do 3 or 4 deals a year by mistake. It's going to happen. I mean, anybody can do 3 or 4 deals by mistake. And yes, you can make $20,000, $30,000 a year doing 3 or 4 deals. But is that really the reason you got involved in real estate? Is that really the reason you got involved in coaching with us to do 3 or 4 deals a year? I don't think so. So one of the things we have to do is we have to accept the fact that we are in a business called sales. We're in a business called direct sales. We're in a business in direct sales where we have to go out and talk to people every day. Now, the problem we have in real estate, and if any of you attended our superstar retreat, you would know that I said time and time again, we're involved in a business where very few people in the real estate sales profession have a sales background. Very few people actually have a business background. We have attracted into real estate virtually hundreds of thousands and millions of people that have no experience in selling, no experience in business, and then they come into a business thinking they can make a lot of money without understanding the fundamental aspects of what a sales business is all about. Sales revolves around prospecting. Now, as I said to you on our introductory CD, believe me, I know that every speaker in the world in real estate, every trainer, every one of these coaching companies will say to you, you don't have to prospect to make money in real estate. I am telling you, they're correct. You don't have to make money if you want to make a few dollars selling real estate. You want to make 5, 10, 15, 20,000 bucks a year, you don't have to prospect. You want to make 100, 300, 500,000, you have to learn to prospect, period. End of conversation. So quit believing all this nonsense that you can make money, get rich in real estate without having to learn the fundamentals of sales. Prospecting is the fundamentals of sales. Let's look at prospecting. I'm going to go through quite a few points with you. I'm going to try to sell you on the fact that you can become a better salesperson, a more productive salesperson, a greater salesperson, a highly profitable salesperson if you understand the fundamentals of prospecting. So here's number 1. You're going to love this one. Think about the following affirmation as you begin to prospect every day. Here's the affirmation. I'm efficient, I'm effective, I'm productive, I'm profitable because I prospect every day. I'm efficient, I'm effective, I'm productive, I'm profitable because I prospect every day. I'm efficient, I'm effective, I'm productive, I'm profitable because I prospect every day. We have to, at some point, grow up as an industry and say to ourselves, this is how we build a business. I don't care what the business is. You're going to have a business that is growing. There's prospecting involved. You have to reaffirm in your mind this every single day. My second point I wrote down, to make your prospecting time better, critical point now, make your mornings media free. Media free. No TV, no radio, no newspaper, no emails, no voicemails, no texting, no tweeting. Media free, because 2 things. One is we're always looking for an excuse not to have to prospect. And number 2, and listen carefully, the negativity in the world today is so strong that if we start to prospect and the negativity comes into our brain, our subconscious mind, it will stop us from doing our job of prospecting. Make your mornings media free. Number 3, we have to strengthen the link between prospecting and achieving the goals we've set. There is a very direct link between prospecting and achieving the goals we've set. And that link has to be so strong that nobody can break that link. Number 4, we have to make a commitment to build our business through daily efficient prospecting. Guys and gals, do you think there's been any days in any great salesperson's life when they didn't really want to prospect? They didn't feel like it? The answer is 100% yes. But see, the great salespeople in every profession have created this strong link between the fact that I'm going to prospect for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours today if I'm going to achieve the goals I've set. Number 5, we must determine where our business comes from before we decide where we're going to get our business from. Listen carefully. We have to commit to determine and learn where our business comes from before we decide where we want our business to come from. Or in essence, start sourcing every listing you take. Where did it come from? Start sourcing every closing you have. Where did that transaction come from? Because what you're looking for is trends that will tell you what part of your business is efficient, which is inefficient, what part of your business is getting you rewards, which part of your business is taking time away from you. Sourcing your business has always been one of the critical aspects of building a great business. Number 6, our business generally comes from waiting, buying, or going out and finding business. Okay, waiting. I'm going to hold an open house. I'm going to sit in the office and take floor time. I'm going to do a little mailing and wait for somebody to call me. I'm going to sit in the office and hope somebody walks in. This is waiting for business. That is the primary methods of doing business in real estate today by all the low producers. Buying your business, of course, is extensive advertisings, mailings, personal promotion, etc., to cause some kind of name recognition so people will call you. The trouble is, it's very expensive. Or going out and finding it. 80%, 80% of your business should come from finding business instead of buying or waiting. So, number 7, we have to create then an efficient pre-prospecting routine. Remember on the last, when I talked about time management, I said, you've got to create a section of time in the morning where you're media free, where you can do your job, you got the right mindset. Well, for your pre-prospecting routine, you have to create some type of routine that allows you every day to follow the routine, because anybody that has good habits, has good routines, is highly more productive than somebody that doesn't. So we have to create a pre-prospecting routine. For example, getting up and going to work at the same time every day, doing some type of exercise every morning before you start, having a healthy breakfast, doing your affirmations, arriving at the office virtually at the same time every day, clearing your desk and having all your prospecting numbers prepared, role playing enthusiastically before you start your prospecting, and then making up your mind that you're going to have fun prospecting. See, I think the biggest part of prospecting is deciding how much fun you're going to have. I am going to have a good time this morning. I'm going to get a couple leads. I know a lot of people are going to say no. Somebody may slam the phone down. Somebody may get mad, but I'm going to have a good time no matter what happens. When you create a pre-prospecting routine that you follow, you create a habit. As that habit becomes deeply embedded in the subconscious mind, it is easier to call upon that habit on the days you don't feel like following your habits. Number 8, we have to understand why prospecting is so difficult. Because the truth is, for most agents, prospecting is terribly difficult. Now, let's be honest. Why is prospecting so difficult? A, we're not salespeople. B, we're not being taught how to sell. C, nobody's holding us accountable. So therefore, as a result, we don't think the prospecting applies to us. Here is some of the reasons why prospecting is difficult. First, I don't know how to prospect. You're going to know how to prospect if you stay in coaching with us. B, I don't know what to say. We have all the scripts for you. You know what to say. C, I have non-productive work habits. Of course you do. You don't have a good time schedule. D, I can't handle rejection, acceptance, or embarrassment. The 3 most common words that keep us from doing our job. E, I don't track my numbers. Well, we're going to talk about that a lot. F, I'm not getting results fast enough. Of course, results take time. You didn't become your age in one day, you became your age over years. Or I have a basic fear of prospecting. And generally we have a basic fear of prospecting because we've never done it before. So we have to understand why prospecting is difficult if we're going to overcome the challenge we have with prospecting. Number 9, the sooner we memorize and internalize the prospecting scripts through practice and role play, the better chance we'll have of staying on your schedule. Listen carefully. The sooner we memorize and internalize the prospecting scripts through practice and role play. Okay, that's one phase. The better chance we have of staying on your schedule. See, why do we get off our schedule? Because every excuse for getting off is a valid one if we don't know what to say, if our scripts are not deeply embedded in our subconscious mind. How does a great baseball player, basketball player, dancer, singer, actor, tennis player, how do they get so good? Role play and practice, role play and practice, role play and practice. Point number 10, practice and role play the most common objections you'll receive while prospecting. Identify the ones you get most often and spend more time on them. Guys and gals, if you're prospecting every day, you're going to receive certain objections every day. It's just called normal. Why not write out the ones you get most often, create a good response to it, learn the response and use it to build your confidence to make your prospecting more fun. Number 11, ask your role-playing partners to be tough on you because it makes you a better prospector and better salesperson. But always end your role-play practices on a positive note. See, role plays shouldn't be like this. Hi, Mary, it's Mike. How are you? Great. How are you? How's your week? Oh, it's been okay. How's your week? Well, it's been a little tough. Oh, I'm sorry to hear it. What happened? Well, I had a deal fall apart. Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. Gosh, I hope you get one. Wait a minute. That's not role play. Here's role play. Hi, Mary, it's Mike. Why don't you start with a listing pre-qualifying script? Go ahead. Watch. Hi, Mary, it's Mike. Let me start with the for sale by owner pre-qualifying script. Let me start. That is what role play is supposed to be all about. Okay. And the tougher you are in the role play, the easier it is to actually do it then live with the prospects. Number 12, don't be afraid to practice your scripts on the person you're talking to. They don't know you're practicing. I have always said one of the greatest places to practice is on the public. They don't know you're practicing. See, they don't know that you're learning and growing. All they're doing is receiving a phone call, somebody's knocking on their door, somebody's sitting in front of them on a listing presentation. They don't know that you're practicing. Hey, practice on the public if you won't practice with each other. Number 13, you're gonna love this. The hardest call we make is many times our first call of the day. Without a doubt, we've heard this for years. Real estate people are challenged by making that first call, picking up that phone and making that first call. So I'm always going to say the same thing. Call a past client, call a center of influence, call somebody that will give you positive feedback, which will always boost your confidence, get you more excited as you're starting to do your prospecting. Number 14, always have your center of influence and past client list of people that you can talk to that will be available, that will be
That's weird. Hold on a second. You know what? Because I closed that. Hold on. Does that?
Phil, are calls on Sundays also allowed? I thought
Yeah. Yep, until 9 p.m. It's 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay, but Saturday is 8.
No, I think it's the same. Isn't it 9 p.m. every day? Or did they change it to 8?
I thought during the week it's 8, but then
I think it's the same. We can look it up in a second. A second here. I'll pull it up in a second. Let me get this back down real quick. 1405 in. Give me a second.
Number 14, always have your center of influence and past client list of people that you can talk to that will be available, that will be fun to talk to. If you're going to make 10, 20, 30 contacts a day, why not talk to 5 or 6 people that will enjoy the
Yeah,
conversation?
8 to 8. Used to be 9.
At your past client centers of influence.
Used to be
You're gonna
9,
love
but it's
point
8 to 8
15.
now.
Since you're going to be prospecting every day for the rest of your life, work daily on your mindset, because prospecting is a major part of your job, and therefore mindset is a major part of the process. Think about it. How much does mindset make a difference in your prospecting? I talked to a man recently, and he called me. He's not a client. I don't know where he got my name and number from. He called and said, you know, I've heard that you train people how to sell in real estate. I said, yes, I do. Well, I've really got a problem. I said, well, what's your problem? Well, I prospect all the time. I'm not getting any results. And I interrupted him and said, I can tell you why. Well, how do you know why I don't get good results? We've only talked for a minute. I said, because you sound depressed on the phone. He said, well, what do you mean I sound depressed on the phone? I said, you sound depressed on the phone. If you were calling me as a prospect, I'd hang up on you. Okay, watch. Prospecting is something you're going to do for the rest of your life. So work on your mindset, because your mindset affects your tonality, It affects your voice, it affects your enthusiasm, it affects your energy. And since prospecting is a major part of your job, you might as well work on the mindset that I'm going to do this every day and I'm going to do it well. Point number 16, we should be looking at the following lead sources. Obviously, past clients, centers of influence, expired listings, for sale by owners. Let me stop for a moment. Well, Mike, there's not a lot of expireds right now. Expireds come and go. There's not a lot of for sale by owners right now. For sale by owners come and go. What? Learn how to do them so when they're on, you can get them. Obviously, calling around your existing listing and sales. Obviously, knocking on cold doors. Or doing anything else you can do to get yourself in conversations with the public about listing and selling property. Point 17, I wrote, call the for sale by owners and the expired listings around 8 o'clock in the morning. If you don't reach them, call them again at noon. If you don't reach them, call them again at 7 o'clock. Okay. And if you can't reach them by phone, go to their front door. Okay. You have to go talk to people that have the highest level of motivation. Buy owners and expireds have the highest level of motivation. Point number 18. Okay. Guys and gals, you need to make a minimum of 10 to 12 contacts per hour. Anytime you're making less than 10 to 12 contacts per hour, you're talking too much. Okay. And you need to prospect, every one of us, a minimum of 2 hours a day. Doesn't matter what your goals are for the year, 10 to 12 contacts an hour, 2 hours a day is going to get you more business than you had anticipated. Point number 18, excuse me, number 19, turn off your phone, your computer, don't check your voicemail, your email until after your prospecting is complete. Now, well, Mike, you brought this up earlier. You said make your prospecting time, media free. Some of these points I'm going to bring up to you 10, 12, 15 times because sometimes, and I know this is hard to believe, but we actually have clients, you're not included in this list, of course, they're a little hard-headed. They actually don't listen to what I and the coach tells them. We have to tell them the same thing time and time and time again. Some of you, while I'm actually talking to you right now, are on your computers checking emails or maybe possibly working on a file. That doesn't work. Make the system work by clearing your mind so the system can work. Point number 20, most of our distractions that come up during prospecting are self-imposed. Clean up your prospecting area to keep your mind clear. Clean up your prospecting area. Your distractions are self-imposed, okay? All I have in front of me is the recorder that I'm recording into and the notes. I have nothing else in front of me. I'm actually looking away from my desk. I don't want to see the distractions on my desk. Watch, when you're distraction free, you're much more free to prospect. Point 21, start prospecting at the same time every day and finish at the same time every day. Have a conversation with your accountability partners and your role play partners to make sure that we're all starting and ending at the same time. Ideally, if you have a couple of accountability partners, you're going to call each other before you start, call each other when you're done to make sure that you're doing the job you're supposed to be doing. 22, you're going to love this one. Since we all get bored at times with prospecting, focus on the long-term payoff versus the rejection of the moment. Always have your goals posted in front of you when you prospect. Always have your goals posted in front of you when you're prospecting. Hey, it's boring at times. But you know and I know that everything in life is boring at times, but it's the long-term payoff that we're looking for more than the boredom itself. 23, remember the physical and mental environment that we keep while prospecting are critical to the results we get. I want to be standing up. I have my headset on. I want the use of my hands and my arms when I'm in conversation. I want to make sure that my environment is set up so it supports what I'm trying to accomplish. I want to have my desk clear if I'm sitting at my desk. I want to have my numbers in front of me. I want to have my goals in front of me, have my dream board in front of me, etc. 24, keep your ego in check while prospecting. There's no need to tell them how great you are. I don't understand why you think telling somebody how great you are that you don't know is going to enhance the conversation. Keep your ego in check. 25, everything in prospecting has to do with numbers. Everything in prospecting has to do with numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you can't take your business to the next level. In a later CD, we'll talk about tracking numbers. We're gonna have in your workbook some tracking forms to look at. How do I get my business to the next level? Track my numbers, period. 26, remember, you're the only person in the way of finding the next prospect that wants to buy or sell a home. Okay, you're the only person in the way. Your broker is not trying to stop you from succeeding. Your manager is not trying to stop you. Your coach isn't trying to stop you. I'm not trying to stop you. Your spouse isn't trying to stop you. Only person stopping you from succeeding is yourself. So therefore, get out of the way of yourself and continue to do your job. Point 27. Remember, prospecting is not about you, it's about them. When I'm prospecting, I'm looking for what can I do to help this person buy or sell a home? Well, they don't want to buy or sell a home. Good. What can I do for the next person that I talk to? How can I help that person buy or sell a home? Point 28, while prospecting, stay mentally focused on some of these types of thoughts. First, there's somebody in my marketplace that wants to buy or sell a home today. Let me find them. Or every no brings me closer to a yes. Or, Raj, prospecting is a simple process, but it's not an easy process. There's no shortcuts to any place worth going. When I keep those kind of thoughts in my head, I can remain inspired, excited, enthusiastic. Okay? Point number 29. There are 3 opportunities for business with every person I talk to. A, can I do business with them today or in the next 7 days? B, can I get a referral from them? C, possibly, because of the relationship that I have with them, can I add them to my center of influence list? See, the truth is, guys and gals, there are so many opportunities, but we have to be in a sales mind, a sales mode, a sales mindset to recognize the opportunities. Point 30, while prospecting, always keep this question in front of you. Quote, how can I help the person I'm talking to right now get their home sold? See, if that's the mantra that you have, if that's the attitude you have, if that's the mindset you have, that your only job is to help somebody get their home sold, guess what? You're going to help more people get their home sold a lot faster. And then point 31 is a quote from an old seminar I did years ago. Listen carefully. I can't let somebody else's response to my prospecting determine my future. I can't let somebody else's response to my prospecting determine my future. If they respond in a negative, nasty, rejection manner, hey, guess what? I'm not going to let that determine my future. But I'm also not going to let the fact they said yes, come and listen to me determine my future, because it's going to be one step in a long process of great listings and sales I'm going to take because of the prospecting I do today. I'm really going to recommend that you go back and listen to this CD virtually once a week for the rest of your sales career. Because until you've programmed your mind that the key to success in selling anything is our ability to prospect, we're never going to have the success we want. Let me close with this thought. Don't let anybody ever tell you again you don't have to prospect. Because when they tell you that, they're not telling you the truth. One thing I'm going to tell you guys and gals that you may not like, and that is the truth that you have to prospect. Go have some fun, make it a great day. I'll look forward to talking to you on the next CD.
Okay, guys. So the 2 most important things in this business, prospecting and follow-up. Without those 2 things, nothing else is going to matter, man. You know, nothing else matters at all. All right. So does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
All right.
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah, completely. I mean, it really does. I mean, nothing else really matters. If you can't get that client and you can't get that commitment and that relationship built, nothing else matters. And it's any kind of sales business. It doesn't matter if it's real estate, anything that you're selling. If you can't get that client and get that rapport built, doesn't matter how good of an agent you are, how good at contracts you are. It doesn't matter, you know. And that's what it comes down to, you know. Second. All right. So what I want to go over with you guys right now is the lead follow-up. Like we just went over this information, but I want to reemphasize a couple points on it. And this is where I want you guys to really focus. You know, you need to focus on getting the contact and being able to nurture that contact, right? So a lead is a person, or it's either a buyer or a seller who's going to sign a contract with you within the next 7 to 10 days. Okay. Anything further out than that, it's just you're nurturing something that may never happen. You know, I'm not saying it never works, but if you have 15 people that want to do something 6 months from now or 3 months from now, you have a buyer who wants to buy in 3 months, they got to fix their credit. Like, are you really going to take your time and nurture, focus on today, right? Focus on now. I'm not saying don't care about people or stuff like that, but you can't focus. Oh, I got somebody who's going to sell a house in 3 weeks. I got somebody who's going to sell a house in 3 weeks, and then focus all your energy on that in 3 weeks. Okay, you got somebody who's going to sell a house in 3 weeks. Great. Call them every 4 days. Get back to it and get somebody now, right? Like, that's, who cares about 3 weeks? You know, the world might end within 3 weeks. They might nuke the whole planet the way things are going, you know? Who cares 3 weeks from now? You know? So you got to focus on now. Somebody's house came off the market, they want to sell it. Focus now, right? Okay, so you gotta answer these questions for yourself. Like, how do you define a lead, right? If you're going to become a producer, you have to define these standards for yourself, right? So what are you going to do that? How are you going to make it happen? When are you going to do it? You got to put timeline down. Like, you got to put, I'm going to work this day to this day. I'm going to get this done by this time, right? You got to start holding yourself accountable. Okay. Why are you going to do it? You know, you want to increase your life. You want to have better income. You want to do different things, right? Okay. If you don't have standards for yourself and the business, you don't have a business. Okay. You got to have standards for yourself and timelines that you're working in. Me, I have certain times of the day I do certain things. Okay. Prospecting time, working on deals, calling clients, following up with clients, working on other businesses. You know, I have everything in a timeline from the minute I get up to the minute I go to bed, right? So you have to have standards. You got to hold yourself to a standard. Okay. There are people that buy real estate and sell real estate every day. Look around, right? All you have to do is go into an MLS, right? Let's just go into Matrix real quick. Okay. And let's just see something here. In the last 7 days, let's see how many transactions closed here. Okay. In the last 7 days, okay, 2,636 deals closed. So that means 2,636 agents got paid, right? So somebody's getting paid. Somebody's making money. Somebody's working. Somebody's not, right? Now, in this MLS, there's like 100,000 agents. So there's 100,000 agents. Only 2,636 got paid in the last 7 days. Okay. So it just shows you deals are still happening. It's just, are you going to get them? Right. So that's just how deals will always close. No matter how the market's going, no matter what's happening, deals are always going to close. Okay. Okay. You could sell a home every day if you're willing to do two things: a lot of prospecting and a lot of lead follow-up. Okay. Good lead follow-up. If you get on the phone, like I don't have the time to do it every day. But if I sat down on the phone 8 a.m. every morning and didn't get off the phone until I set 2 appointments, and then followed up those, and then the next day did the same thing, 2 appointments, 2 appointments, 2 appointments. And I didn't get off, and then everybody I talked to day 1, I followed up day 2 before I called new people. And I'd follow up with people all week long. I'd have 10 listings a week. Easy. You know, I can't do that right now, right? So that's just the way it works, right? Now, each week, you got to take a careful look at the leads you have and see how many will sign a contract in the next 7 days and focus on them. Okay. The short definition of a lead that you have for a lead is the more motivated you are to call that lead, right? So, you know, if they're serious people, you have more motivation to call those people, right? Okay. I can only find that which I am looking for, right? If you're not trying to focus and you're not having the motivation and the willingness to look for that lead and try to find those people, you're not going to find them. If you're not getting a substantial amount of business from lead follow-up, you're not following up the leads correctly. You're not talking to them about things that are pertinent to the deal, right? Yeah. How's your day going? Nobody cares how your day's going. Okay, here's where you are. You need to sell your property. Here's the options. Here's your report. Here's what we can do. And that's what you want to focus on. Does that make sense? You don't want to be best friends with them. You want to do business with them. And if it turns into friendship, wonderful, right? Okay. The number of leads that you buy or sell in the next 7 days times your average commission is your weekly earning potential. So if you say, look, I'm going to call 1,000 people this week, right? And you're going to work 5 days. That means you're going to make 200 calls a day. If you make 200 calls a day, you should talk to at least maybe 10 to 20 people a day. And of those 10 to 20 people a day, 3 to 5 should turn into appointments when you're first starting out. Then as you get better at it, 10 or 15 should turn into appointments. Okay? Does that make sense? But if you commit to 200 calls a day, no matter what, it might take you an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. But if you say, I'm going to make 200 calls a day, and if you talk to those people properly, you're going to have 3 to 5 appointments a week. Right? It's just the way it's going to work. And eventually 10 to 15 appointments a week. Now, if you get those appointments on a Zoom call with me, you're going to close most of them. We're going to close most of them. Then as you start doing them on your own, you might lose some until you get comfortable, right? But you're going to close. You get them on with me, they're going to close or they're going to die, one or the other. Like it doesn't make sense to do the deal, or they're going to close with us.
Hey
right?
Phil, can you give me those stats again? You said
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
50.
If you call 200 people a day, 5 days a week, that's 1,000 calls, right?
Okay.
Of 1,000 calls, you should have between 5 and 15 contacts per day of the 200. So
Okay.
each day you should have between 5 and 15 contacts for those
Got it.
200 calls. Okay. Of those 5 to 15 contacts, you should have, I would say, between 1 and 3 appointments. Right? You should be getting an appointment to 3 appointments a day if you're making 200 calls. If you're making 200 calls a day, you should have at least 1 to 3 appointments a day. And then you should have another 3 to 5, maybe a few more people to follow up with the next day. Right? So you make 200 calls today. Let's say you get 10 contacts, you get 2 appointments. Those other 8 people you should be contacting tomorrow. And then tomorrow you call 200 more people, you get 10 more contacts, you get 1 appointment. Now you have 9. Now you have 17 people to follow up with. You see? And that's what those charts are that I gave you guys to go in and online. You put the people's names in, you put the phone numbers, and that's how you keep track of all your people each day. And then you contact them. Like every morning from 8 to 11, you should be calling people. Then from 11 to 1 or 11 to 2, you should be following up with the people from the day before, right? The ones that you didn't close, right? And in the meantime, around that, you should be setting appointments on Zoom with you and me and them, right? In the beginning. So 200 calls a day. Now, maybe you want to make 100 calls a day. That's okay. Make 100 calls a day. Get 1 to 3 leads a day. Try to get 1 appointment a day, right? If you're doing 200 calls, try to get 2 appointments a day, right? You got to set these goals for yourself, and determine what you're going to do. If you never set these goals and set a time and start working, you're never going to get anything. Right? If you don't say, I'm going to make these calls, I'm going to talk to 100 people. Like you say you're going to talk to 100. Let's say you talk to 65. So what? It's better than talking to 0. Right? You want to talk to 100. Oh, only talk to 35. So what? It's better than talking to 0. Set a goal and go as close to it as you can. And if you come in under it, so what? Then adjust your goals next week. And always push yourself. Try to go better. Don't just settle. Oh, I'm only going to call 25 people today. Because that's just settling. You're not going to get anything. You got to push yourself. Like no one can do it for you. You got to do it, right? You can't, no one can do it for you. You got to set the goals. You got to plan what you're doing and work it. Does that make sense? All right. So how many times a month can you afford to have your commission check going to somebody else? Because you didn't have a good definition of a lead or good lead follow-up. So these people you're calling, somebody's listing them. They're going back on the market. It's just, are you listing them or is somebody else listing them? That's what that's asking. They're getting your money, right? Most agents have too many leads, and a disadvantage of having too many leads are the following. The bad leads hide in the good ones from you. So if you have a list, like for example, we have 650 people came off the market. Okay. If you just, I got 650 leads, but you're not pushing and following up and making calls to them, everybody has the same 650 leads. They don't mean anything, right? There's good ones in there, but you have to go get them. Okay, and if most leads are not good leads, the urgency for the lead follow-up diminishes. If you're making calls, you're not getting anywhere. You start losing the desire to make calls. And if you make calls and you're not using the script properly, and if you make calls and you connect with them and then you're not following up properly, you're not going to get anywhere. Does that make sense? You got to follow properly to get results. And once you start getting results, then you have more motivation to call more people, right? So you got to follow the system, get the connection. Like you guys saw me just do it on the phone call, right? I made a connection with somebody. Now I'm following up with them. It's going to turn into deals. That's how it works. Okay. You gotta start doing it, right? So it's a waste of time to be tracking and calling people on a regular basis who are not going to be moving in the near future or making moves. So if you're calling somebody like that guy, the father, Henry, they're not selling until the lady dies, right? Until the mother passes away, she's going to live there for the rest of her life, which might be 6 months, it might be 4 years, who knows, right? So that listing that property is a moot point. However, they're buying a house. They want to get a license. They want to do different things, right? There's other deals there that I'm going to nurture and work with on them, right? So if I keep calling them up about the house that the mother's living in, hey, how are you doing? Oh, you guys having a good week? Yeah, I haven't talked to you in a while. Hey, have you thought about putting the house on the market again? How old is that going to get? Right? That's going to get old. They're going to get insulted. They're like, listen, we're not selling it to my, whatever. Right? You if they're not ready to move, if that was that deal, I would put them on an email list, send them an email once a month, maybe call them once a month. Hey, I just want to say hello. I was thinking of you guys. How's everything going? Did you guys need any reports or anything? Right? That's how you do that. So you don't work on deals that aren't going to ever go to anything until a certain point, right? Now people have fears, right? So when it comes down to fears, like if we really define what a lead is, then we stick to the standard and we throw leads away. Our fear is that we will not have anybody to talk to. So if you have 600 leads, you don't want to get rid of them because you don't have any other leads, right? So you don't want to have a fear of get rid of the dead weight. You don't want to carry the dead weight with you. It's useless. It's just for nothing. If we ask everybody for their motivation and they don't have a motivation, then of course we don't have a lead. So therefore we have nothing to do. So if these people don't want to sell and are not motivated to do something, they're not a lead. Get rid of them. They might be a lead a year from now. They might want to do something 6 months from now. There's more houses coming off the market every day. You want to sit there and worry about somebody 3 months from now and focus so much energy on them? No, you want to focus on now, tomorrow, the next day, and get the deals now. I'm not saying don't ever talk to these people, but focus on getting things done. The bullshit from weeks down the road and months down the road don't matter, right? So the questions you have to ask them, and it's not even you ask them these questions, but you get this, the talking points and the conversations we have, get all these answers, right? Are they willing to commit? Okay, the schedule, do they have a schedule? Is there a prospect, or do you have your schedule set up? Do you have prospecting time set up? The past clients and centers of influence work, which you have to do from before. Then you have to pre-qualify them. Are you willing to commit to a schedule and are you willing to commit to the work? That's the question you have to ask yourself, right? And then you got to make that commitment to yourself, not anybody else, not me, not anybody. You got to make the commitment to yourself. You're self-employed. This is your business, right? So I can give you all the tools. I can lay it all out for you, but you have to decide, I'm going to do this, right? You got to make the schedule. You got to make the work, right? Okay, you got to do all things that are required to make this happen for you. So you can then define your leads and the way you want to make the leads work in your favor. So you have all the leads in front of you, right? I mean, you come in here, you go into land voice. Okay, you log into land voice. Come into here and you basically have every lead's in here, right? Let me see. I mean, we literally have 10,446 leads that are in here all the way back. That's in general from today back until the setup. So, in here, you want to go here. Okay, I just want to call expired. I just want to call canceled. We're not going to do withdrawals. I only want from 350 and up. Yep. I only want 350 and up. You know, I only want, or I want all 3 MLSs, right? Let's just say that. I'm going to apply the filter. And there they go. There they are. 350 and up. Right? And there they are. So there's the leads. Right? There's 2 numbers there. There's 2 numbers. Nobody's there. There's numbers there. Look, 549, Jacksonville. You know, everything's right here. And it just depends on what you want to do. You put your notes in, you do what you're going to do. You start calling them. You want to see about the properties. You know how to do this. Everything's right here, but this is pointless if you don't use it, right? If you don't sort through it, like we're talking about. What did I do with it? Did I close it? Yeah. All right. And I always say there's a 3-3-3 rule when it comes to follow-up and leads. Okay. When you call on the phone, it rings 3 times, hang up. Okay, and then call them right back. So if you call it rings 3 times before the voicemail, call them back. Okay. When you call the lead 3 times and cannot reach them, get rid of the lead. So you call them, you call back again, and then I leave the voicemail. And then that's it. I'm not calling those people back. I'm going to the next one. Now, if I run out of leads, then I'll go back and call them again. But I mean, there's 10,000 leads here, guys. You know? So if I call them once, they don't answer 3 times, I hang up, call back. Now, normally somebody will answer the phone, the same number calls it back, right? Thinking of something important. And if they don't answer the second time, I leave a voicemail. And then I'll call them again, you know, but I don't push too much after that. If they're not going to answer, they get the voicemail, I send them a text message. That's it, man. And I move on. I'm not calling these people back, right? Go to the next one. Because you know what? There's going to be another 600 tomorrow, another 300 the day after, another 200 the day after, another 500 the day after, right? So you just, it's a number, no emotion. Okay. Now, if you call them 3 times and you can't get an appointment, get rid of them. So if you talk to them once, you follow them up again, you're following up with them, you're doing stuff, you're following up again a 3rd time and you can't get them on a Zoom call, drop them. They've seen who we are. They know what we do. You text them all our information. They've seen our videos. They know who we are by the 3rd call. If you can't get them on a Zoom call or an appointment after a 3rd call, drop them. Say, listen, here's who we are. You need something, give me a call. That's it. Move on. Right? Because why are you going to waste your time like beating a dead dog? Right? There's no point. Go to the next one. If they can't see what you're bringing to the table and you can't work with them, screw them. Right? I have a video I'm going to show you guys tomorrow night when we start. It's a client, $680,000 condo. I called them 2-3 times. And then I stopped. I just dropped it. I did everything. I dropped the guy. I was like, I'm not going to keep chasing your shit. I moved on. He called me back the next week and asked me to please come over, sit down with him. He interviewed other agents. And then he told his wife about having a conversation with me. And they invited me over and I listed the house while I was sitting there with my laptop. We signed the agreement in a condo. I have a video. They were on a video with me talking about it, the whole situation, how it went down. I didn't even know he interviewed other people in the meantime. Never knew, never told me. I found out sitting there with him that he did that and why he called me back and what stuck out, why he asked me to come back. And you're going to see that video. It's like a 15-minute video. Okay. I'm going to play that and you can see me actually using this. Okay. So, you know, there's another thought I want you to get rid of. Okay. The fact that you can think I can take a non-motivated person and through a long-term lead follow-up, make them motivated to want to sell their house. If somebody's not motivated to sell their house, there's nothing on earth I can do to make them sell it. Do you guys understand that? So there's nothing on earth any of us can do to make somebody do something like selling a house if they're not motivated to get it done. Okay. And lead follow-up is technically just like prospecting. It's a numbers game. Even prospecting, you got to follow up with them. And following up with them it's the same thing. There's a percentage of people that aren't going to do anything, and there are a percentage of people who will. And the more you do, the more it will. Like, it's statistics, right? So remember, lead up is a numbers game. Okay, if you keep following up, the numbers will work in your favor. The numbers work better in your favor if you have a selected group of people you're following up on. And what I want you to remember, leads have no value. Okay, none of these people have a value until we contact them, right? This one here is 1.8 million. That's about a $40,000 value. Okay, this one here is 369. That's about a $12,000 to $15,000 value. 428. That's an $8,000 to $12,000, $8,000 to $15,000 value. See, they have values, but not until you contact them. Because if I don't call this guy, there's no value there, right? The value is when you contact them and start working with them, right? Okay, leads do not represent security. I have 10,000 leads there. Is that going to make me $1 by having those? It actually costs me money to have those, right? It costs us all money to have those. So just having these doesn't mean a damn thing, right? Don't overprotect the leads. Everybody has them. These leads here, whoever pays land voice has these leads. They're not special. We don't own them. Anyone who pays for this service gets them. Anyone who pays for Red X gets them. Anybody pays with Vulcan 7 gets them. These same leads are given by dozens of companies to people, different lead sources, right? There's companies out there that they're the same people, right? So they're nothing special. Okay. The higher the quality of the lead that you have, the less time you spend working on it, right? What that means is the better the lead. When I called that lady, Elaine, I set the appointment, I listed the property all the same day, like within 2 days. The higher quality lead, the less time it takes to close. Does that make sense? They want to sell. They know what they want. They see who can do it. They get it done, right? The lady called me up. I saw your video. Please list my house. I had the contract. We got the renters out. We listed it, right? I had the contract signed 3 weeks before I listed it. I dated it 3 weeks in advance. That's how good that lead was, right? The better the lead, the less bullshit you deal with. Does that make sense? Okay, there's 2 key questions to ask every lead. And the way we do this in our talking points. Do you still have to sell your home, and can we set an appointment in the next couple of days? Okay, we don't come out and ask them these questions, but that's part of the talking points, right? That's the way we do it. All right, so that's the end of the lead follow-up. Now, I want to show you guys one thing, okay, before we go. In the, I'm trying to think where I have it here. Here, agent apprenticeship. In the agent apprenticeship program, I have the numbers in there. Remember, we went over those. Hold on. I remember which one it's in. Give me a second here. It's not that one. It's not that one. That one. Here. So what I'm talking to you guys about the numbers, right? We're talking about the numbers. So the first thing you do, I would say, okay, starting Monday, name, week of. So Monday is the week of 8th, right? So week of April 8th to April 7th to April 13th. So week of April 7th to April 13th, right? How many days are you going to work? I'm going to work 4 days. How many hours? I'm going to do 2 hours a day. So I'm going to work 8 hours prospecting. Contacts. I want to get 2 contacts a day. So I want 8 contacts. Leads. Okay. How many leads generated? Now on this here, this should be contact goal, lead goal. Okay. But it's what it is. Okay. So leads generated would be how many appointments you set. So if you're going to get 8 contacts, you want to get 2 appointments, right? These are your goals. Okay. Now listing, like, cross this one off for now, because that you're not worrying about that right now. Right now, you're worrying about getting Zoom calls so we can get on and get the deals done. This would be when you're going on your own. Okay. So you're going to say, okay, well, I want 2 appointments, right? And I want to get 1 listing. Okay. And then listing sold, buyer sales. Don't even worry about these for now. Okay. Role playing sessions. You want to role play. You want to work on that script. If you're doing it in a mirror by yourself, if you have somebody doing it with you, you want to do, you know, three or four role plays in a week. You want to spend a half hour a day working on that script, and then any other goals you have. Then what you do at the end of the week is you come back. Okay, well, I was going to work 4 days. I only worked 3. I only spent 2 hours prospecting, not 8. I got 1 contact. I got 1 appointment. I didn't get any listings, right? Or you got 1 listing, whatever. And then you look, okay, well, here was my goal. Here's my actual. And you hold yourself accountable. Well, you know, I said I was going to do this, but I did this. Where did I fuck up? Right? What did I do wrong? And you do that every week and you keep track of it, right? You can send it to me if you want. You want to send this to me every Monday or every Sunday night? You want to do it for next week? Send them to me. I'll hold you accountable if you want me to. You know, I can't make you do it, but I'll hold you accountable if you want me to. And then what you do is on a daily tracking. Okay. So Monday, right now you're worried about expireds, right? We're not worried about center of influence. We're not worried about any of these right now. Right now we're working on expires to get your first deals. Now, center of influence, we're going to work on that tomorrow. And I'm going to go over how to start letting everybody you know what you're doing. We'll put an email together you can send out to everybody, right? All your contacts, what you're doing here, you know, that or a text message. You can text them all. Make a text saying, hey, it's been a while. I haven't talked to you. I wanted to let you know what I was doing. I'm working in real estate. The brokerage I'm working with, we have a real estate school, real estate brokerage, top 5%. Here's all my information. Boom, right? You send that, you send the article, you send the video, boom, you just sent that to your friends. Now everybody knows what you're doing and that you're up to your game, right? It's that simple. That's center of influence. So you can take a day and do that. Send 10 of those a day, right? Call, you know, 100 expires a day. And then this day, say you called 60, you put them here. Here I called 40. Here I called 20. Here I called none. Here I called 100. And you keep track of this for yourself. And then what did they turn into? Okay, of these 40 you called, you know, 1 turned into a lead. It's a lead once we have an appointment, right? So it's going to go, this is back. So it's going to go from, it should be leads to contacts, but the way Mike Ferry did it here is contacts to leads, right? But you can just cross that off, put leads here and put contacts here, or do it vice versa, or whatever works for you guys, right? And these are commitments you got to make to yourself. These are things. And then once a week, when I first started in business, these questions I asked myself. So when I first started out, on every Saturday night, I would go through these and I would answer these. Like Saturday night or Sunday night, I would answer this and set my schedule for the following week. Because Saturday my week ended, Sunday my week began. So at the end of that, sometime on Saturday, I'd sit down and answer all these questions. And I'd have a binder, and I would put week 1 or whatever week it was, and it would be in there. And I can go back and progress and see how I progressed every week. What did I learn this week? You know, what was my accomplishment over the past week? Something I accomplished in this business. And this all relates to business. You don't have to share this with anybody. It's for you to make yourself better. You know, again, you don't have a job. You're not punching into a time clock. You don't have a list of things to do. This is how you hold yourself accountable. This is how you operate a business. This is how you run a business. You figure out what you have to do. You make your schedule. You hold yourself to your schedule, and then you hold yourself accountable. And that's what this stuff does. I'm giving you guys here all the stuff I did to make myself who I am today. It's just how you use it and apply it, you know? And these 20 questions I would ask myself every week, you know? And I would just write that down, and I have that for myself when I first started out. And once you do this, you know, a year in, 6 months in, you don't have to do this all anymore. I don't answer these questions every week anymore. But it kept me on a system and got me on a playing field that I'm on now. I don't have to answer these questions for myself anymore. If I did, I probably would advance even more faster. But I have things I'm doing different ways in my life now. But when I was in the same situation you guys were in, when I was starting out and I didn't have any business, this is how I did it. You know? So I'm showing you guys how I did it. So if you guys just take these things and use them for yourself, your own way, hold yourself accountable, you can't lose. How do I know that? Look at my life. Look at me. This is what I used. You know, from the funnel we talked about, how I do everything, into scheduling it, into tracking it, until, you know, holding myself accountable, into acknowledging what I did and what I didn't do, being honest with myself and getting myself forward. That's what this does. Do you guys have any questions? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
That's it. And if you want it, you get it. If you don't want it, don't do it. Like, I don't know what to tell you, you know? Like, that's it right there. You know? Do you guys have any questions before we finish up for tonight?
How long does it take? Because like, I mean, it would take me what do I do, like 20. Yeah, it take me like half an hour to get through like 20 calls. I mean dials, right? Like not a lot of answers, but
I used to spend 2 hours a day. Like, I actually, when I first started out, I spent 2 hours a day. No matter what. Like, I would just spend 2 hours a day. And then I got to the point where I would go for 2 appointments a day. You know, so I would not stop calling until I got to 2 appointments. Sometimes, some days I call an hour, some days I call 4 hours. But that was when I did nothing but real estate when I was starting out, right? That's when
Yeah.
I had nothing else to do, right? I didn't have 15 deals I'm working on. I didn't have other business. Like, I didn't have other things. So I took a minimum of 2 hours a day or 2 appointments, you know?
okay.
And the thing is, the more efficient you get, the better you're going to have results, the less calls you're going to have to make.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I have in the training, if you guys go into the training, I have some of the old, the Keller Williams boot camps. It's in the training. I have everything in there. Let me show you guys something here. If you go in, let me open this up, and you can see actual agents going in, closing the door, and they record themselves making the calls. And this is how I learned a lot of it. Hold on a second here. I just gotta see if I have them in here. They should be in here. And this is stuff that we did. And when I get some time, I'm gonna do it too with you guys. That's why I'm saying Sunday, when Omar comes in on Sunday, I'm gonna do the same thing. We'll record a call just like we did on the other one.
Hey, Phil.
Yep, go ahead.
You can see if you can type what you're looking for in that search over there in the bar.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull it up in here. Hold on. I can put it up there if it's not there. I got them in here somewhere. Here, ignite student. That's just no, that's not it there. I have to find it. It's probably on my hard drives, dude. Hold on.
And I believe I've seen it. I've gone through the shared folder and I've seen it. I don't know where it's at though.
It might be here. Keller Williams. Here we go. Yeah. So in here, look, these are the mega camp trainings. I have all the trainings here. I think these are videos or audio. I can't. Is that going to open it?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Yeah, I mean, people paid thousands and thousands of dollars to go to these events. These are the mega camps that they did. I have everything, dude. Like, I don't even, all the training guides are here. Some of the stuff I never even looked at. See something here. You know, this is something they used to have, the first 100-day plan listing specialist. So the first 100-day plan, they would have check off things that you would do in your first 100 days working. And then this is part of their trainings and all the training manuals. I have them. They're here. Like, if you wanted to take this and go item by item and then come back out of here and go over here, all the training stuff is in here. Like here, all here, student version, the manuals. Here's every manual, every manual in the whole book. Like here, this one here, this manual, this part is accountability, right? So I literally have I have everything, dude. I have the hard copies. I have this. You know, it's just, it takes so much time to do all this. The system I put in place to teach you guys is hands-on doing it. Like you could spend years trying to learn all this and never get a deal. It's just, there's so much information. If that makes any sense. I mean, there's so much information. What I'm trying to do is consolidate it and just show you how to do it by doing it, right? I mean, here, let me show you. Like, trying to find the videos. I thought it was in here. Give me a second. It was called something camps. I don't think that was. It might even be on a DVD. I have a bunch of DVDs. It might be on the DVD. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna go through the DVD. Maybe I'll pull something up tomorrow. We can go over the part I wanted to go over tomorrow. Maybe I'll show you some of the stuff I'm talking about. Let me look at that. Let me find some of that stuff and pull it up. All right. All right. You guys have any questions? It's a little after 10. I didn't realize the time.
Are we good?
All right.
Cool.
So what we'll do is I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8, and I gotta find these DVDs and pull these up. And then what we're gonna do tomorrow is we're gonna continue on. I just have to see where we're gonna pick up tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. Don't worry. I'll see you guys at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Any questions before then?
Nope.
Okay. Perfect. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8.
Hey, see ya.
Okay.
Good for you.